coming on. I know
thanks for having me.
It's early. We don't do film anymore, and I got you out of bed. And I apologize for that. But let's just jump into some rapid fire. Let the listeners kind of get to know you a little bit. The big question that I always ask right off the bat, BYU or Utah?
I hope my family's always been a BYU family, so...
Support your family, just say BYU. That's the right answer.
BYU.
None of these have a right answer.
I mean, I'm not going to, cheer against Utah, unless it's not that big of a deal.
I'm noticing you're wearing a Mariners hat over there, so I'm curious, your favorite professional team?
Oh, it's actually the Angels, which is kind of ironic that I wear this Mariners hat. I always, when I work at Tony's Tacos, shout out the taco shop. I always have to wear, the blue Tony's hat and this, and so everyone's like, oh, Mariners. I'm like, nah, it's Angels, but...
Mike Trout, man.
Yeah, big Mike Trout guy.
Favorite player there.
Yeah.
Well, you got not a head coach, a new football coach named Mike Trout over there.
I know, that's so funny to me that his name's Mike Trout.
Do you have a favorite NFL team?
I'm a Chargers fan and a Seahawks fan. It's going to be hard for me to be a Seahawks fan this year. They're probably going to go 2-15.
A little bit down.
And, yeah, I mean, I have bad memories when they threw a pick on the 2-yard line to Malcolm Butler. I literally cried the whole way home.
Isn't it interesting that Russell Wilson just gets off scot-free with that? That's totally everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Not Russell Wilson.
Never let that go.
Never haven't let that go. Every other quarterback throws a pick in the end zone to lose the Super Bowl, and we're going to hammer him except for Russell Wilson. Just don't know why.
Yeah, that is true, but I mean, it was a pretty obvious, just give the ball to Marshawn
Lynch. I
I agree.
totally agree. And that offensive coordinator is no longer employed. Russell Wilson just got a pretty good contract from the Denver Broncos. That's all I'm saying.
Marshawn Lynch had a rough week. I don't know if you
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, Marshawn was my favorite player. If you go in my mom's, office, I have, this jar where I kept all my money and, written on it what I was saving up for was a Marshawn Lynch jersey.
Oh, really? You got a beast mode jersey?
I played against Marshawn Lynch in high school.
No way.
Basketball. We played against his high school in a tournament here at Utah Valley University, and I did not get into the game. I was on the bench with Marshawn Lynch.
That's so funny, yeah. I love that Seahawks team, the Legion of Boom. And
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Have you ever been to a game up there in Seattle?
No, I passed on the Seahawks tradition to my little brother, but he, just became a fan last year, which is a really bad time to start. But for his birthday, he went out there, but I couldn't. But
Chargers is a good pick. I like the Chargers.
This is a big question over here. Pre-game meal. If you could only have one meal for pre-game, what are you going to?
Oh, my mom usually makes me some spaghetti and garlic bread.
Little home cooked meal.
You put the spaghetti on the garlic bread, and then
yeah, that's what I always do. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go Tony's Tacos over there, and that.
Oh yeah, true. That might be. Yeah, I had to eat that 6 hours before at least.
My last question, and we were kind of talking about this. I think pregame actually. No, maybe it was practice. I mean, we were focused yesterday. It would have been practice. I'm just gonna go. To me, the three biggest stars. I'll put 4 in there. If you're gonna take Giannis, LeBron, Durant, or Curry. Right now, who are you taking out of those 4?
To start a franchise or
next year?
I'd probably still take Giannis. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's kind of the consensus that he's passed the other 2. I was just curious. Say they're both starting their careers. All 4 of those guys are starting their careers. Starting a franchise season.
And you put LeBron in there? Yeah, I think definitely LeBron then. And I'll say right now, Curry, I think is maybe my favorite player of all time. I just love. He just changed the whole game. I don't know. I think I still take LeBron.
That's where I wanted to go on my next question here for you is I want you to give me your top 5, let's go top 3 NBA players with a clear number 1. Who's your number 1? Basically, I'm asking you Jordan or LeBron, but who else is in the mix for you over there?
Who do I like or who's all time?
Who's the all time? Who's the greatest?
This is why I like Crew, because it's not just splatted out. He wants to understand what the question is.
Yeah. Well, if someone's a big LeBron fan, I'll just give them a Michael Jordan argument. And if someone's a huge Michael Jordan fan, I'll just give them a LeBron argument. I don't know. I literally cannot decide. But when it comes down to it, I think LeBron's a better athlete and maybe a better basketball player. But Michael Jordan just got that dog in him, And I don't think LeBron has that. So I can put Michael Jordan 1, LeBron 2, and then... Yeah, I think Kareem, me and him were talking about Kareem's really underrated, and then I honestly think Steph is working his way into the top 5 and maybe top 3. I mean, what has he done that isn't top 5 or top 3? So
yeah, he's changed the game. That's
yeah.
Steph Curry kind of changed the way the whole game operates at this point.
I'm going to shift gears and let's talk about you, Crew. Let's get to know you a little bit more. You were a busy man over the summer, and I just kind of wanted you to kind of let us know where did you travel. We're in the football season. but we kind of didn't get a chance to wrap up the baseball side of things, and summer is a lot of baseball. Just talk to us about the different places that you went and kind of what you accomplished this summer baseball-wise.
Yeah, I had a really busy summer with baseball. I'm pretty burnt out now. When my dad tries to talk to me about baseball, I just shut him down. I'm like, I don't even want to hear about baseball. But so we went to Arizona for a week, and we won that tournament. And then we went to
Who are you playing with?
with the RA national team. Yeah, it's like just a summer travel team with a couple Orem kids, Jordan kids, like just from all Utah County. We're pretty stacked. So I went to Arizona for a week, and we won that. Where we go next? We went to Dallas for a week, and then we went like 7-1. We had a really good week, and then I went to Georgia for 2 weeks, which is super long. And the flight back, we got home at like 4:30 a.m. and then I had 2 days or the next day that just started like at 6 a.m. So.
You know, I know you're a little burned out on baseball, and we're going to get to football a little bit, but I want to ask you, speaking of that, you mentioned playing with the Jordan kids over the summer. Was there a little trash talk between that Wasatch and Jordan?
Oh, yeah, I let them hear it, yeah.
I think that might be the best Wasatch baseball game in the last couple decades at least, that Wasatch game where you walk
that was one of the most fun games I played, and those kids are all studs. Like basically the first 4 or 5 hitters for Jordan that all hit like 450 plus run my team, and those guys are studs. But I definitely let them hear it because we beat them. So we played them in the preseason too, like in a President's Day tournament, and we were down by 4 going into the top of the 7th, and Chet hit a grand slam to tie it, and then back-to-back Swap hit a bomb to beat them in that tournament too. And so I just let them hear it for both times, and I was just telling them that we were a better team than them because we beat them twice, and they didn't really have a response to that.
So then you followed up that game by leading off the next game with a solo bomb of your own there, leading the game against Olympus. But that's what I want to ask, because one of my favorite memories, our listeners may not know Coach Baird and I coached you for a little bit, and one of my favorite memories was the state tournament the year before at Olympus High School when you were so field. And those Olympus High School students, let's just, we can't say all that they said. It's not FCC approved.
Oh, yeah.
Over here.
That still gives me PTSD.
And I'm wondering if round 2, last year's state tournament, if the Olympus crowd was just as hard on you out there as far as the heckling goes.
Oh, man, yeah. So my sophomore year, I was out in left field, and we were at Olympus, and they just had a big bus of like 30 fans just chirping me the whole game, just constantly in my ear, and it was bad.
Well, they were researching you guys, right?
Oh yeah, they like looked up. I had my mom and my girlfriend go private on Instagram, so they couldn't say anything too personal because they got jacked pretty good the day before. And then we go play Olympus here, and I tried to lay down a drag bunt for a single to start off, and I missed it, or like I fouled it off, and then they were like, "Oh, crew can't bunt," like, and then I hit a bomb, and they just didn't say anything the rest of the game, so it was nice. I'm glad that happened, because the Olympus fans are jerks, but their players are really nice actually. So I didn't have too much of a problem with it. But
let's shift over to football. We just got done with the first game last night. Started off well. You know, we have a lead at halftime. Second half didn't go so well. As a captain, crew, what do you feel? First of all, congratulations on being voted captain.
Thank you.
Where do you go from here now as a captain on keeping this team going forward, progressing, not getting too down?
Yeah, I was just trying to encourage everyone on the sideline, like trying to keep us in the game. I mean, not a lot of us have varsity experience, and so I think that like the game, we had to like it was just fast for a lot of guys, and I think it was a good learning experience that first game. I think that like when Mac just got hit that first play, I think he definitely needed that to maybe just grow up a little, and he's going to definitely mature and grow up. I think he looked really good for his first game too. But I just think that we don't need to get down on ourselves. We just need to realize that we're young and we can still win a lot of games, I think.
How was the team's morale after the game? You know, you're on the field, you go into the locker room. How did guys seem to be after the game?
I think that they were disappointed, but I don't think it was too bad. I think that there was still some hope there. It wasn't like all was lost or anything.
You know, there was our listeners may not know that you play quarterback as well. And so you and Mac both were two guys that had a chance to be quarterback for this team. And I think the coaching staff recognized your athletic ability and how valuable you would be on the outside. And it looked to me like they made a concerted effort to get you the ball yesterday and let you do things out in space. And so I just wanted to ask how that how that transition has been mentally for you, going from I'm going to play quarterback to now being the guy that's kind of the playmaker on the outside. How are you feeling about your move over there to wide receiver permanently?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty easy transition. My whole life, like backyard football, I'd always just play receiver. That was just always what I loved. And then when I just started playing football as a sophomore. Coach Bear tried to get me on the freshman team a lot, and that's probably my biggest regret. But we don't need to get into that. But when I started playing as a sophomore, I just wanted to play receiver. I was just going to play receiver. Then they put me in at quarterback, and so whatever happened. But I think playing quarterback actually helped me a lot to play receiver. I think I understand like how grass and leverage works, and I understand what Mac's seeing a lot. And I pretty much always know when the ball is going to come to me pre-snap, like a lot of the time. So I think it was a really easy transition. I mean, Julian Edelman was a college quarterback and now one of the best slot receivers. There's lots of high school quarterbacks that just turn into college receivers or NFL receivers. So I think it was a really easy transition. I understand football a lot more because I played quarterback a little bit. So
that's a good point you make. We were actually talking about Britton Covey last night as well. He was a high school
Yeah, he was.
And now just, obviously toured up in Utah and now trying to make the Eagles roster. So it's a great point. And you, of course, had that big play last night that was really fun, the 44-yard bomb between Mac and you where you found the end zone. Just talk a little bit about that, what you're looking for is a one-on-one matchup, right, and just how that play developed.
Yeah, so I was lined up, and the coach goes, watch the post, and the safety dropped at like 6 steps. So I was like, okay, I don't know. And then I just tried to break it off inside, and I think we hadn't taken any shots, so I think it kind of caught him off guard, and then I got a couple steps on him, and it was pretty much over after that, because I think us having all those screen passes before kind of just caught him off guard, and I could beat him over the top.
So throw out the unsportsmanlike penalty. Say that's not a thing in high school. You score that first touchdown of the season for Wasatch High. What would be your go-to celebration if you could?
Yeah, me and Carter have a handshake that we were trying to do, and they were asking for the ball back. I don't know. I've always been a big Odell guy who would always hit a crazy celebration, and I'm not a big dancer, but...
Not a big dancer. That surprised me a little bit.
Well, I'm a big dancer. I'm just not a good dancer.
Okay.
I always give the I love you to my mom like this, just up there, to God. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, now we got to get to the important questions because this is a pretty new team. There are a lot of new players out there. We saw you on the field last year, but you're one of the few. So help us get to know this team a little bit. The best trash talker on Wasatch's football team this year. Who are you going to give that title to?
I think it's definitely me. No one really even fights back. It's not as fun. It's me and Carter just team up on people, and they just back down from us. I miss Casey. Me and Casey Anderson on the baseball team would just go back and forth all the time, and it was so fun. And I don't feel like I can go back and forth with anyone. Coach Knight is probably the best trash talker on the team.
I've heard Coach Knight can give the business a little.
Yeah, no, Coach Knight. I'll give it to Coach Knight. No players, though. They need to set that up.
So, who you picking if it's an octagon, 2 players to go at each other? Who's the toughest player on the football team?
Ooh, I want to see Jackson Stone fight anyone.
That's a great news, by the way.
Yeah, definitely Jackson Stone. And I don't know. Also, Sawyer and Chris, they wrestled at my house one time, and it was probably the most fun thing. Sawyer just picked him up, threw him right on his back, and Chris was out forever. I would want to see that fight again, too.
I'm going to remove you from this conversation because I know you can move here. So removing yourself from this, who's the fastest player on the team?
I think probably Chris, if he's fully healthy. Chris might be faster than me, too, if he's fully healthy, but I think it's between me and him.
Better feeling for you, Crew, hitting that bomb in the state tournament or catching a touchdown?
Oh, that is tough. Oh, man, that might be completely equal. Both times I just could not stop smiling. Over on the bases, I was just smiling, and then that was both such a good feeling. Just because, like, hearing the fans, like, in the background screaming on both just didn't even feel real. That was both so fun.
Well, before we cut you loose, I know we're a little long here, and I appreciate you giving us a little bit extra time here, but I know you've got some hopes to play some ball at the next level here. So if you wouldn't mind, just before we cut you loose, talk to us a little bit about just how life is for a high schooler now who's trying to play at the next level. What's the recruitment process like? Are there some schools that you're interested in that are maybe showing a little interest in you? And just kind of keep us posted, and we'd love to follow that a little bit as you go throughout your senior year here.
Yeah, I mean, overall it's kind of tough with the COVID year and stuff like that. I mean, I've talked to like Dixie and Utah Valley and stuff, and basically they say that they like me a lot, and then I'm going against like 25-year-old grown men like right out of high school because of the COVID year, like red shirts or injuries. And if you're not and baseball doesn't have a lot of scholarships, and so it goes to like a lot of lefty pitchers too. So it's kind of a hard thing. I think I might try to end up just going to a JUCO for 2 years and get bigger and stronger, and then go to a D1. I've been talking to Salt Lake a lot, and that's mostly it.
Salt Lake Community College.
Yeah.
Which would be a great place. You got a couple teammates that are
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that'd be really fun.
That would be a fun thing to do. And this, of course, we're talking baseball. I know we're in football season and you're doing well out there on the gridiron, but you're kind of working the baseball recruitment.
Yeah.
Where you're hoping to be playing.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of playing football at the next level?
Oh man, I always think that I should have just never chose baseball. It's the most frustrating sport ever, and just getting out 7 times out of 10 is rough, and it's just a mental game that you have to keep that really strong. Football is really fun. I don't know. We'll have to see. I just started playing as a sophomore just to play with my friends for fun, but if it could turn into something, I think football is really fun.
All right, crew. Well, we appreciate your time. We'll cut you out of here on just a couple rapid-fire questions. This year, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Who's your pick?
Chargers, man. Or actually, if I was to put money on it, I'd say the Bills, though.
I think the Bills break through.
Yeah, I think the Bills, they're this close. I think Josh Allen is that good.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, again, baseball guy. If Aaron Judge hits 62 home runs, will you consider him the home run king over Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so because of like the steroids, but I mean, also Barry Bonds not getting in the Hall of Fame is horrible, but I would say so. I like the Yankees. My dad's a big Yankees fan, so I kind of have to like them, but I like Aaron Judge a lot.
What team does Donovan Mitchell play on this year?
He's going to the Knicks.
You think so? He's going to be traded to New York? They're going to cave eventually?
Yeah, I think so.
I know this is a deep question. Do you agree or disagree with the Jazz's current, their vision here?
Oh man, I thought they still had a chance with Gobert and Mitchell. Like I thought they were just missing maybe one piece, and they could break through. Now it's going to take a long time to get back. And like you guys were saying, they have a bad history with draft picks. I don't know. I don't think Gobert and Mitchell were the problem, really. I think that they had enough talent to make a championship run.
Well, this has been Senior Crew Erickson, a captain of Wasatch High School's football team. Had a great night last night at the wide receiver position, also a standout on the diamond. If you haven't had a chance to come watch him play, he's electric out there on the field and on the football field as well. Crew, we appreciate you taking the time this morning to come on and talk with us. And I know you kind of put the bug in that this is the after high school job for you, right?
Yeah, the Tie and Tie crew. Oh yeah, baby.
So it's a nice little tryout for you here this morning.
Yeah, Coach Bear said that he'd pay me with getting into the high school games for free. That's my only payment. Yeah.
So, Crew Erickson, captain of Wasatch High School football team. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.